Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Snow White. This is a 2025 fantasy directed by Mark Webb. Mark Webb has done Gifted. I have a review of that in the description. Amazing movie, by the way. He's also done Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, so I think we're in good hands here. Gifted especially, I can vouch for that movie, it's pretty good. Actors are on and off. Rachel Zegler, she's been in a handful of movies, nothing crazy. Gal Gadot, on the other hand, she's done Wonder Woman, she's been in Fast and Furious. Not that many movies, but quality stuff, you know. So this movie is a remake of the 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, which is the first animated movie of all time, which is actually quite an achievement. And if you want to watch my review of that movie, it is in the description, but I'll mention it at the end as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So it starts off with some CGI animals opening up a storybook. They give the backstory of Snow White's childhood. It kicks off right away with the musical number of Snow White growing up. I don't like this song. It's got that whoa, whoa, whoa thing where instead of writing lyrics, they just sing whoa, and there's no lyrics, so they sing about nothing. There's a wishing well. Listen, maybe it's the quality of the version I had, but it's very vague what she wishes for. Her father kind of tells her, yeah, meet someone like this. And that's so, doesn't wish for a prince, just meet someone nice? Okay, no problem. So the queen died. This is where this new woman arrives, which turns out to be the evil stepmother queen. They show her evil outfit, the mirror, and so far it's looking good. I actually like the original design, and they keep to the original well. I think it looks great so far. They send the king away to fight, and bro did not come back. He obviously wanted as little to do with this movie as possible. They actually spent time developing some of the kingdom and the people in it. I actually like this. Too bad it was all completely pointless. So the montage is over, Snow White is all grown up, and she runs into a thief who is stealing potatoes in the castle. He runs away. The queen talks to Snow White, and the thief comes back because he's caught. Idiot. And we already know that she's evil, so this interaction is kind of pointless. Go find his family, burn his house down. Typical villain, you know. Snow White frees the thief, and they have a hand-touching cliche where they look at each other all doki doki and like, alright, the queen tells the huntsman to kill Snow White. Great, back on track. From here, it follows the original for a while. The huntsman takes her out, doesn't kill her, scares her into the woods. She runs through the scary woods, comes across a clearing with some animals. Those animals lead her to the dwarf's house, and she sleeps in the bed. Cool. The only problem with this is that she doesn't talk to the animals like the original, so we get less context. We don't hear her thoughts about anything so far, especially in the dwarf's house. Everything is small, it's very messy, so Snow White thought that children lived there, but it's actually old dwarves, so it's actually pretty funny. Too bad they took that out completely. Oh well. The dwarves now have their musical number. Right away, they are ugly. They are fucking ugly. They keep their massive cartoon bobbleheads, and in a live action setting, it just doesn't work. Oh yeah, the musical number. This would be a good time to introduce all the dwarves, and they do. Just kidding, they leave some out for later. Were you expecting everyone to be introduced at once? What? That would make sense. You're watching the wrong movie. They gave the dwarves powers. What do you mean they gave the dwarf powers? Well, their hands glow and they touch the stones to reveal the gems under the rocks. Why do they have powers? Oh yeah, and this is also never mentioned again. Okay. So during the intros, I was wondering, okay, that one obviously looks like dopey, but everyone is so clumsy, they fall over each other so much, and they kind of forget to keep them clumsy because they aren't ever as clumsy as they are in the original, except for some gags. The dwarves return home and they find Snow White, which is weird because they immediately find her. Like, they come home and they get undressed and they go right upstairs to her. In the original, they have a funny sequence of them discovering an intruder. So they see the lights are on, they come in, and there are some birds that pull pranks on them. And it is a funny little moment of jokes and gags. Yeah, let's take that out too. No, we don't need that. The dwarves also recognize her as the princess, and that's the reason that they have to let her stay for the night. And that's not as funny as the original where she mentions, hey, I can cook. And then they're like, oh, you can cook? Why did you stay then? That was funny. No, let's scrap that too. Let's also remove that. That wasn't as funny, actually. Doc, who is, I guess, the main dwarf man, he introduces the dwarfs to Snow White. I guess I like the original more because Snow White is able to guess who the dwarves are because of their traits, and Sneezy starts sneezing and she recognizes them like, oh, oh, the beds have your name on it. You are these guys. And it shows them that she's actually at least smart. And this time, Doc tells them who they are, and she arranges their names alphabetically. And that impresses them. No, that's not as cool. I like the original, man. Why are you trying to rewrite things? So the queen now realizes that Snow White is still alive, and she wants to go kill her, right? They did replace the pig's heart thing with an apple. Fair enough, family friendly. Boo. The queen has a musical number where she's evil, and she only cares about her looks. But we know this. Like, it kind of feels like it's padding the runtime. The queen sends guards to find Snow White. I don't know why they're changing so much of the original, because the story was fine. I don't know why she can't just go out and kill Snow White herself. But I guess there are less musical numbers, so they have to pad out the runtime more. I don't know. Morning comes, and they're still introducing dwarves. They should have done this 13 minutes ago. Yes, I counted. Oh yes, did we forget to mention Dopey is now bullied by the other dwarves, and he's scared to speak. That's why he doesn't speak. Why would you put that in? That's just mean. The dwarves are supposed to be a tight group of friends, maybe family, I don't even know. Also, they make Dopey whistle. You're changing so much for no reason. You're making it worse. You're making it worse. Next, they clean the house with the dwarves, and I guess it was going to be harder to replicate with CGI animals, so they just did it with dwarves. Okay. No, fair enough. Like, I totally understand. Snow White goes out exploring, and of course she meets the thief again. Cool, no problem. They have a musical number. Turns out he's the leader of a team of bandits, and the soldiers that the queen sent have now arrived, and they have a battle. It starts out with the bandits fake surrendering, and then they kind of just run at them. And the soldiers have bows at them, and they just don't shoot. Okay, cool. When all is lost, the bandits look like they're losing. Snow White lures them away really stupidly. I really don't even want to explain it. Okay, fine, I'll explain it. She yells at them, and they chase her. And animals drop some clothing from the trees, and Snow White is gone, and the soldiers give up. I regret explaining it now. So all is settled. A random soldier tries to shoot Snow White, but the thief kind of jumps in the way and takes the arrow for her. Another cliche. Please don't give us more cliches. She gets the dwarves to fix him up. Snow White and the thief have this weird and cringy cliche of, oh, is that your boyfriend, Snow White? And then they both deny it awkwardly. This movie has spiraled so hard from a Snow White fairy tale into a rom-com. They have a party with the bandits and the dwarves. Snow White and the thief sing a falling in love song with each other, and they do the almost them kissing in front of everyone cliche. Oh, you like cliches? Okay, I've got another one for you. I have to go. I'm coming with you. No, you can't. It's too dangerous. That's right after that. Oh yeah, Snow White gives the thief her necklace. He says, I can't accept this. This isn't a gift. It's a reason for you to come back. Another cliche right after that. Yeah, why? The thief immediately gets captured. Nice one. Finally, the queen comes out of her little chamber to kill Snow White herself. They CGI her becoming the old hag. Kind of getting bored of the CGI at this point, you know? So the queen arrives as the hag. Snow White bites the apple and dies. And the queen escapes and returns to her duties. Okay. In the original, the dwarves chase the queen hag off of a cliff and she dies. Why is she still alive? You've just changed everything. Right, cool. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay, so the queen is still alive, but the thief, oh, there's no prince, by the way. There's no prince to come back and do the first love's true love's first kiss, sorry. The thief has to do it, I think. So the thief is still in prison, unfortunately, and you won't believe how he escapes. He pulls the chain out of the wall, and it cuts to him just being outside. Okay. The prince comes. I said prince. The thief comes and does the reviving kiss, which the movie doesn't explain, by the way. The original does. It says in the book that the potion the queen uses is cured by true love's first kiss. But let's leave that out. The audience will figure it out, guys. Don't worry about it. The final nail in the coffin of this horrible fucking movie happens next. Dopey talks. They get Dopey to talk. Okay, that was, the whole point of Dopey in the original, that he doesn't talk. It's like he's a cute character. He's the only one who doesn't talk. All right, might as well make him talk at this point, right? It's not Snow White anymore, by the way. You can change the title now, guys. So the team raids the castle. The dwarves are shown to sneak into the castle, which is 100% pointless. They just stand there at the end, by the way. That's the reason why they snuck in. They just stand there. Snow White goes through the town and unites the people together against the queen, which is pointless also. But okay, everyone is now standing around Snow White and the queen, and they have their final battle. Snow White slices the queen's head off and kicks it around like a soccer ball. Wouldn't that have been fun? But it's a shame that what actually happened, because that's so much fucking worse. So Snow White says a speech and just tells the queen to leave forever, which unfortunately for her is not how royalty works. The queen is still head of the throne. Why is the princess coming and trying to banish her? Also, this works, and the whole town laughs at the queen. The queen doesn't fight back. She just goes like, no, ooh, and then she turns around and runs back into the castle. She talks to the mirror, and the mirror eats her. I can't make this shit up. You think this is a fucking joke? Why would I make this up? The mirror eats the queen. How the fuck? Disney doesn't give a shit anymore, does it? So now Snow White is the queen. It turns out Dopey was the narrator from the beginning and narrated the storybook for the audience. Thank you so much for rubbing that in again. Final music number to finish off, hands waving in the air. The final cherry of turd on top of this shit cake is an ugly CGI animal that closes the book, sits on top of the book, and waves the audience goodbye. So, I'm about to go into more details on how bad this movie is, but before I do that, I want to make this very clear. I don't care that they remade the animated movie and that it's a live action. Remakes have been good before. The problem is that they changed the story and made it a million times worse. This story is good, this story is bad. Hands down, you can separate them and the movies will still be as good and as horrible as it already is. But the fact that they changed the original and made it so much worse makes it so bad. Okay, let me tell you now the details. The subplots in the original movie are gone. The princess doesn't even mention a prince until it just happens to appear in conversation. The original movie revolved around a prince. Okay, that's gone. The dwarves just randomly like her at the end, but in the original, there's a development like Grumpy doesn't like her and then he ends up liking her because she's so nice. There's none of that. The subplot instead in this movie is revolved around the king, which I didn't mention yet. The king disappeared. Where did he go? Oh, he was killed. None of that matters. If you remove every line, every scene involving the king, the movie will not change. That's how pointless the subplot is. You gave the queen and the dwarves magic powers. Alright, that's a problem because the original had potions and a magic mirror, but no powers. Why did you give the dwarf powers if you didn't fucking do anything with it? They show the powers once and that's it. Also, the queen has some kind of magic powers, but she still makes a potion to turn herself into the hag and she doesn't use her powers for anything. So, useless powers. Got it. Dopey gets way too much screen time. He looks at the screen too much, dude. I don't know why they like Dopey too much. They also make him talk. It's a problem, dude. It's out of character. You ruined Dopey. Thanks so much. The CGI is insultingly bad. They have CGI animals with huge eyes to try and make them look cute and sell fucking plushies or whatever. I don't even know what the point of it is. The dwarves are ugly. They are really bad CGI dwarves. I don't like them at all. I will give this movie some credit. They did at least keep some of the gags from the original, like Dopey with the diamond eyes, the dwarves knocking into each other in a line, and that's it. 2 things from the original. That's the only thing that they kept. This movie is not funny. They don't have any of the gags. They don't make any jokes. So this official Disney remake took the first quarter of the original movie. They remade it pretty well, actually. I was impressed to start off with. I was like, why is everyone saying this movie so bad? Things were looking up. And then it took a nosedive into really cringe and what's with this love story? Is this a rom-com? And then the movie spiraled so badly. They changed the story. They wrote their own ending, which sucked. And then it just ends. Also, side thing, the music was at least bearable. I got to mention the music. Musical was fine because they kept some of the original songs, and the originals were good. Music is okay. So, grand finale. What's the rating? I'm rating Snow White 2025 a 1 out of 10 in honor of their IMDb rating that everyone is showing off. Man, I've never been this happy. Also, apparently this is the lowest rated movie ever. I can honestly believe that. There's a quote from this movie that I think perfectly describes the movie itself. You must have mistaken me for a knight in shining armor. In other words, you must have mistaken this movie for a faithful recreation of a classic masterpiece that redefined the landscape of animation films. Yeah, this is not it. This movie is terrible. Don't watch this movie. Trust me. It's bad. You know what you should do instead? Watch the original. In fact, I have a review of it in the description on the top. What? Top above Gifted. I'm linking them both. I highly recommend you watch the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs 1937 animated movie and not this crap. You know what? Go watch the Snow White and the Huntsman rather than this. This is at least you'll be entertained. Okay, do you guys want to enjoy the bonus round I've prepared for this review? As a professional human being with eyeballs haver, I have gracefully rewritten the 2025 story for you guys, and I have some notes on how to improve this movie. Here we go. Idea number 1. We're bringing back the original plot. Kill the queen, have the kiss, movie ends. Okay? Idea number 2. Replace the ugly CGI dwarves with real actors. There are plenty of small people who not only are really good actors, but they would be honored to be in the Snow White remake. Idea number 3. Keep the animals in. I don't have a problem with animals. It's in the plot. But don't make them look cute. Realistic is fine. Why do you make them over cute? Look at Lion King. They did great. Idea number 4. The queen looks fine. Snow White is okay. The 1937 Snow White, however, was pale. I'll just say that. So just keep that in mind for recasting, please. Idea number 5. Last but not least. The thief and his little group of bandits. Cut them. Remove them. They are pointless to the movie. Bring in a prince. And you can even give him some personality. Change him up. Go crazy. 100%. Because in the original, you see him like twice. Go crazy with him. But the whole point is to have a prince. And not a stupid thief. And that's that. This movie is a great example of a remake that completely flopped. I don't like sequels or remakes. I said that in a video ages ago. And I stand by it to this day. What do you guys think of Snow White? People crapped on this movie, and I thought, dude, you know what? This movie is bad, right? But how bad is it? Everyone is saying this movie is bad. And I thought to myself, okay, you're just hopping on the bandwagon of bad, and let me watch it for myself. I watched the original. It was awesome. And I watched this movie, and it is just as bad as everyone says it is. Summary. Don't watch this movie. Don't watch. That's all I have to say. I'll give this movie a 1. If you forgot what the rating was, don't watch this movie. The movie was actually fun and not fun. It was not fun because it was bad, but it was fun writing the script and actually comparing it to something great. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.